You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. All that I am, or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. How many legs does a dog have if you call his tail a leg? 4. Saying that a tail is a leg doesn't make it a leg. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. The ballad is stronger than the bullet. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. And that's my religion. I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts. Not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. I am a firm believer in the people, if given the truth. They can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell, it is simply purgatory. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of earth. This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government. They can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or exercise their revolutionary right to overthrow it. He has a right to criticize who has a heart to help. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor and could never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much the higher consideration. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea, but if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. Surely God would not have created such a being as man, with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, no. Man was made for immortality. Stand with anybody that stands right. Stand with him while he is right and part with him when he goes wrong. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God cannot long retain it. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have. Avoid popularity if you would have peace. At what point then is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up amongst us, it cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live through all time, or die by suicide. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say, for one, that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men. By rendering myself worthy of their esteem, how far I shall succeed in gratifying this ambition is yet to be developed. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. A house divided against itself cannot stand. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion, as our case is new. So we must think anew and act anew. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. You have to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. No matter how much cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds. A woman is the only thing I am afraid of that I know will not hurt me. Important principles may, and must, be inflexible. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. Hold on with a bulldog grip, and chew and choke as much as possible. I care not much for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. Gold is good in its place, but loving, brave, patriotic men are better than gold. If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? I have great respect for the semicolon. It is a mighty handy little fellow. I can make more generals, but horses cost money. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. A man watches his pear tree day after day. Impatient for the ripening of the fruit, let him attempt to force the process. And he may spoil both fruit and tree, but let him patiently wait. And the ripe pear at length falls into his lap. If the great American people will only keep their temper, on both sides of the line, the troubles will come to an end. And the question which now distracts the country will be settled, just as surely as all other difficulties of like character which have originated in this government have been adjust. I desire so to conduct the affairs of this administration, that if at the end I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left, and that friend shall be down inside of me. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to give a thumbs up, share, and subscribe.